Hey, can you send me the link?
Okay,
So I can
it's
send you the
live,
link?
so refresh.
Yeah, I got you.
Roxanne.
Roxanne. Oh, Roxanne.
Oh man, I forgot the question is.
Roxanne. That's your new name, Roxanne.
Oh man, I forgot to turn off my oven. Damn, I haven't even put ornaments on my tree. Just put lights on my pro. Is it too late? 5 days till Christmas. 4 days till Christmas.
Who's breathing into the mic? Oh, it's fucking.
I don't breathe.
Dylan. Hey, what's that other? I don't breathe. What's that other chaser behind you?
It's ginger ale.
Yeah, give me that. Oh my god.
Tell me that isn't the best Mix One promo you've ever seen.
Pretty lit. I like the lemon.
Litmus.
Bro, it's lit.
Mix One Essentials. 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 Mix One Essentials.
All right. Thank you for joining in. My name is Dylan. This is Lalo to my right. We got Tevin a little bit further down hanging out with us. And right here, Ronald and Raul, a.k.a.
Pineapple Head.
There we go.
The drop.
So today we're going to be talking about a little bit of New York gangster, some 6ix9ine out here, which would be amazing. And a little bit more, we'll jump right into it. But first, we're brought to you by us, Mix One Essentials. Our in-house tastemaker, Lalo, creates a collection of essential music to vibe to, bang to, everything, party, whatever. Regardless of the situation, there are playlists set to the day or the night. Be on the lookout as guests join in on Mix One Essentials, just like right now, to promote new music alongside of Lalo's Essentials. Except we'll have some artists, different kinds, rappers, singers, doesn't matter. Hit us up, contact us at mixoneessentials.com. That's mixoneessentials.com. Mixoneessentials.com. So as usual here, let's start her out by going around the table. Who, Lalo, is your favorite artist this week?
Oh shit! Is the mic on?
Your mic's on.
Oh fuck no. Baby, what is it? Baby Keem. Baby Keem.
Baby Keem? Why?
It's fucking hard. There's
That shit is hard, right?
It's fucking the little kid that was on the Kylie Jenner's playlist.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, he's fired. Tevin, favorite artist this week?
Man, that's
It's a loaded question.
a loaded one, man. Man, you putting me on the spot. I'd have to say, for this week, I ran into artist ETO.
Talk right into the mic.
I ran to an artist ETO this week. I was listening to some of his music when I was on YouTube, and yeah, stuff's real fire.
Shout out ETO.
ETO.
Bringing it around the table here. Roll, favorite artist this week?
03 Greedo.
Favorite artist for life.
I don't know. It's just I've been listening to his album, and it's starting to hit more the more I listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new one, the Kenny Beats one?
Netflix and Deal, yeah.
Yeah, this shit's fire. Free 03 Greedo.
The show was brought to you by Crush Grape.
And our guy Ronald over here, the Ostalite himself, here from Texas. Favorite artist this week?
It's got to be Kanye.
Kanye
Wait,
for
wait,
life.
wait. Original Kanye or Silver Kanye?
Oh, which one wins? Original Kanye. Back before he got crazy and dated Kardashian.
Oh man.
I was listening
That's
to one of his
hilarious.
lyrics that said, "In the future, I'm gonna date a porn star and do all these things, and it's gonna be her in religion only."
Man.
I mean, he predicted it, yeah. But
that's
RJ
funny.
hit it first,
Kanye will forever make waves in the industry. It's crazy.
Pretty sure there was somebody else before RJ or Ray J.
If you're not familiar with Silver Kanye, Google Silver Kanye. My guy. Ultimate form.
I don't think that's ultimate, man. I think that's like cocoon
let me
form.
I don't know if you can see that.
Wait, you gotta zoom out. You gotta zoom out.
Kanye versus Metal Kanye. Oh man. No, I actually think Baby Keem's gonna make big waves in music. I
How
mean,
old is
he already
he?
kind of is. He looks young. I
Okay,
don't know how old
looks
he is,
young,
but
but
he looks young. He can't be. He's definitely not over 20, if I had to guess.
oh, but he's like what, 16? I'm gonna guess 17,
Maybe.
18,
Maybe.
an adult.
I think when did that song come out, Lalo? It was like July or something like that. The what was it? Orange.
The last album, I think it came out in like July.
I just started seeing him on Apple Music and everything.
I think he's 19.
Into
Oh. Yeah, no, I think he's 19.
My
The
gosh.
video came out a month ago.
Yeah, months ago. It was July, right?
Oh, the video. I had to check the song when it came out. I just started listening to him.
Have any of you heard of Baby Keem yet?
Not till today. I haven't listened to the song or anything.
You definitely gotta look him up, man.
Was he playing it earlier today?
I didn't get a chance to check him out yet.
I think he's on the Next Essentials playlist. Am I right?
I mean, there was a lot of fire on that, so I probably could have listened to him. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wait, aren't you part of Mix Essentials?
Yeah, but I mean, you have to listen through the whole thing. We were listening to bits while we were going around today and doing all these errands and hitting up Big Fat Baby's party. Shout out Fat Baby.
Shout out
Fat
Fat
Baby.
Baby.
2 years old. Can we get a picture up?
You got a picture? You got a picture of Fat Baby?
for life.
Putting Fat Baby out there like that.
And bro, just celebrating his little birthday.
Represent.
Yeah. You know what I've been noticing a lot lately is just from literally from watching Jada is that people are. Do you know who Emma Chamberlain is? I'm like this with David Dobrik. Do you guys know who Emma Chamberlain is? It's like the female version of like David Dobrik.
I actually find her attractive. Put that out there, just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On God.
God, I mean, it ain't because of she got a body or something. I don't know, just something about her. I'm like, that's a wife that's gonna do something.
Do something.
She's like productive. I mean,
Yeah, she's super
productive. That's all I mean. Is like,
But that's
attractive.
like that's what everyone's watching. That's what's I feel like it's making a huge wave. Like you start to think about people like her or David Dobrik. If they started promoting different types of music in different ways, they could put an artist on like that. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, but I think they have too much on their hands to even add that on.
I mean,
Probably. Well,
I don't know who these people are, but I
Their
feel
social media presence.
I feel like it's mostly all about TikTok these days when
TikTok.
it comes to putting artists on. Like, how many songs have you guys heard
From
you're
TikTok, right?
Yeah, that you're like, oh, what? Like now y'all like big and shit.
Yeah.
It's all TikTok.
Yeah.
I think that's the new way to put people on too. Is like it used to be like Vine and things like that would put you on,
Yeah.
but now it really is moving around.
Well,
TikTok for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like TikTok, and then when they do those challenges on TikTok, and it's like, hey, can you like reproduce this on your platform or some shit? It's like, I don't know, kids are eating that up now. If
Hey,
you're not
man.
doing a challenge, you're not big enough.
And China's reaping the rewards. Just
Yep.
throwing that out there. TikTok's owned by China.
TikTok is killing it. The TikTok phone killing it.
That goes to show you, man, we got to collaborate, not separate.
TikTok,
Mm.
hit up Raul, our communications man. He'll get
Hit
back
us
to you.
up. We would love a TikTok Mix One Essentials.
Get tagged. Wow.
What?
Man. All right. I mean, speaking of, it's kind of on a label verge.
You mean TikTok or what?
TikTok, yeah. I mean, in a sense, it's like almost a distribution company without intentionally being that.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways now music is being distributed. A lot of companies that came from the OG styles just still surviving in this new era, but, you know, just goes to show where it all started and comes back. Just goes to the end of technology. I mean, you guys remember, like, the old MCs and, like, the old, like...
MySpace?
No, I'm talking 80s.
Like
Talking-
Sugar Hill Gang and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Like, back when they used to, like, rap wasn't taken serious. And, like, the charge, there was no charge for rap. There was no anything for rap. I mean, people thought it was a fad that was going to come and go.
Yeah.
And look where it's at.
Yeah. Now it's here constantly. They, I think this was with Sugar Hill Gang, but they were the first marketed hip hop group in 1979, which is crazy. That's not even that long ago if you think about it. Like, hip hop and rap is so.
Was that
Young.
40 years?
It's almost like in its. Yeah, but still. It's,
No, that's pretty young for something.
I guess it's like an
It's really young.
adolescence for,
Yeah.
you know,
For
music
the
as
industry.
a whole.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
how long has pop been around, or rock, or
Rock's
the other genres, you know?
maybe like the 50s
Yeah.
for like rock, but then you got to think about, are you talking about the rock we have now, right?
Rock Johnson? No.
But then you got the rock back then when it started. Like, you also have to look at the evolution of
Yeah.
a genre, right?
Mhm.
So we had rap back then with Sugar Hill Gang, and then now we have rap now with, like, I don't know, name a person.
Now?
Like, yeah, that's huge now. Like
Oh.
the Baby,
Yeah, the baby.
yeah, and then you go in between that, and then who do you have, right? Like, let's say like 90s.
Tupac.
Mm.
Biggie.
Everybody says it, yeah, and then
Yeah.
like the groups and everything else, and then before, I mean, it's
Speaking
the
speaking
evolution.
of groups, though, that's like what used like back in the day when there was more rap groups than there are now. I guess there used to be a whole thing where the artist, the one that was rapping, had to really work around making his lyrics kind of like work with whatever the other group are
Came up
doing.
with,
Yeah,
yeah.
like so if somebody's doing like a piano lead or adding some type of instrumental, sampling some kind of way, the rapper would have to work around all of that. Yeah, which before groups, like before that started taking off, the MCs used to shine and really like put out a lot of lyricisms because they didn't have to compete, or not compete, but they didn't have to share the stage with a producer or with a beat maker or pianist or just a musician in general.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, I mean, you're up there with your DJ. Like, you got
Yeah.
Future, then you got Esco.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Metro's on everyone's stage all the time.
Mhm.
The DJ is a huge part of it now.
Yeah.
It's always been when you think about it. But
Mhm.
the-
They were in the background. I
yeah,
mean,
but they were given the artists the ability to have the necessary sound, and that's what really comes to that importance in music is the sound. Because without that, it's pretty much whatever that. But yeah, without that, you're just looking at a acapella.
yeah. I mean, do you think like with the evolution of technology, they were able to come outside?
Oh
of-
yeah.
From
Oh, yeah.
like the darkness into the light. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
And then also you have like EDM and everything else. So now you have DJs always being the front man
Mm-hmm.
for stuff like that without lyrics.
Well, yeah,
So-
when the first like kickers came out and the first just beat makers in general came out, it really revolutionized everything. And then with the whole concept of like being with a group without a group, I mean, you just started hearing vocalists do different vocals. Everybody's mixing differently, and then sampling came too. Man, they just like changed it up the way the sounds were put out to the public and what the labels could do with it.
Yeah, I
gave
mean, who do you credit the change of music to? Do you credit it more towards the DJs, the producers, or
audience.
towards the rappers?
The audience.
Yeah.
The
Because
audience?
if it wants for the if it's not for the audience that's listening, then why would anybody even promote or put any money behind any of these artists? You know?
Well, yeah, big labels,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
like the
labels.
artists will always do it.
I mean,
'cause
it's
the
a domino
artist.
effect.
It's
I
a
feel.
yeah, that's really what it comes down to because
Yeah.
the producers and the DJs, when they after they see the performance and the reactions when they're up in their studio, they're thinking about what's going to be that next hit. That's just what it comes down to. Is what's going to be that next hit, and then when they find out artists that can appreciate what that craft that they just put into that sound, then that's when we start seeing the revolutions that we have today.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then you also get now where before, back in the day, right? Like you would have to send a letter or some shit, or you just appear at their concerts, be like, "Yo, I love this artist." That's how like the AR Man and everybody else would be like, "Oh, like this person's hot, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Like Kanye, before he even began his entire Kanye thing, like he was someone who lived in like Newark, New Jersey, had like a suitcase full of his mixtapes, and was just like selling it through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but now you look at when he was big, and you look at how everybody like Sugar Hill and how they became big. You can see where it's just like not that many artists were huge, right?
Yeah, it was-
Like compared to now, where it's almost every week you have a new artist that comes out that's huge, that everybody's loving it. Then the next week they're gone, someone else replaced them, and it's because again, like technology. The more we get advanced, now we have a better way of the consumer communicating to the artist, communicating to people who actually put money behind that artist.
I feel it.
Yep, that's how it goes most of the time. I mean, nowadays too, it's evolved into like having a whole budget surrounded around your audience and what that can do for an artist and producers, labels. I mean, the budget is there now, the ideas are there, everything's come all full circle in a way, and and it's still going. I mean, it hasn't stopped evolving. Like we said, we're only like 40 years deep into the game.
Yeah. And they're
40-something.
pushing like just music in so many different ways. Now you have rap being some of the front runners for movies and stuff like that. Like you had the Black Panther album by who did it? Kendrick did
What was
it.
that boxer one too?
Kendrick.
The
Creed,
one,
right?
Creed.
Something like that. Yeah. They're putting them in. I mean, the fact that they're putting them in movies now, like heavily, is incredible too. Because then you're just broadening the audience as well.
It went from not having a chart to being on the movies and all these charts.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's like the biggest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Like it's number one
I mean,
across the planet.
It really is. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Yeah.
You see
Mars.
these rappers that can go to Europe right now and just kill it like a motherfucker out there. No issues whatsoever. And a lot of them make, I think, more of a bag over there, at least especially artists who are just starting.
Yeah.
You see a lot of artists who just start go straight to Europe,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Do you feel like in Europe it's saturated as much as it is over here in the U.S. and that's why artists it's almost like the NBA where it's like I'm done with the NBA. I'm just gonna go to like Europe or Lithuania to play basketball because you're gonna get in anyways.
Yeah, they're more. It seems like it's welcoming over there. It's interesting how it works because I've gone on my way to listen to different artists from different countries, and not being able to completely understand what they're saying because they're speaking their native language. I still am able to enjoy what they've created because they see they saw hip hop just as we did grow and become this new sound that wasn't getting the recognition that it properly deserved, and there's some artists around globally that are just that only are recognized in their native country because that's really where they're only able to get that exposure from. But it's cool though that we see the rappers here from our country able to get that exposure and get that welcoming, because you would think it would be more exclusive, over in other countries because they already got great artists that do the same.
Yeah, well, technology really helps spread the word more. I mean, just as it's helped artists hear about rap outside of this country. I think it's also helping introduce new artists in like from the country and out of the country, and back and forth. So yeah, I mean, it's eventually gonna reach everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys watch King of the Dot at all, or do you know what that is?
No idea.
So
Explain.
King of the Dot, it's pretty much like battle rap, right? So you get people that come up there like Conscious. He's like a thing. Or he's on what's that Nick Cannon show that he does?
Wild and Out.
Yeah, Wild and Out. Yeah, he's like this small guy. He's always like, "Wait, did I diss you?" Like that's his catchphrase, or something. Like you just get like a lot of artists that are in that.
Yeah.
Like the King of the Dot that can go like just off the top of the dome immediately. But nobody really knows about him. I feel like him, or there's a conscious, but I feel like him and then like someone else. Can't remember his name, but they're the only two.
Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD can rap. Could.
Yeah, so that was what I said. I'm like, but
R.I.P.
no, but that have been seen, but nobody else knows about King of the Dot or like those types of battle raps, and it's also like international where you get people from like England, Tibet, like I mean people from around the world doing battle rap. None of them are getting like exposure.
Yeah.
And so like, why do you think that is really, right?
Maybe because nowadays it's not really about rap in the sense of a battle, but more about rapping in the sense of a celebration. And because there's so much to celebrate nowadays within the culture that it has consumed every aspect of the culture. So it's pretty much stripped away the raw essence that has brought the genre and the music all the way to here, and kind of just sat back to people now celebrating and letting celebration take the wheel for at least now. It's been 40 years, and I think people are really starting to blossom and profit, and there's so much going around in the industry that nowadays the music is just saturated by celebration.
Like I hear that, and then I also think about like, let's take like Chance the Rapper, right?
Yeah.
Like doing it by himself, where every other person before that.
Did he do it by himself though?
Well, I mean, he's been hyped up to have release his own music, do all that by himself. I mean, not create the music, but like instead of having a big industry like, I don't know, Sony Music or blah blah blah, like back you, he put it out there himself because again, he used technology.
Are you
that's
talking about
current
acid
today.
rap?
Acid rap? No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about just being able to put yourself on overall. Like when you said like profit in beginning, I mean, yeah, they make some money. And they do whatever with that money, but overall, I mean, there's like a bigger person above them that makes the majority of the money, puts them in the contracts, everything else, and sort of goes like, okay, you need to start releasing like this and this and this, and like that's not how your audience is about. Like we know your audience, so you have to fit this sort of agenda.
Yeah, you got to mold to their mold.
Yeah,
that can hurt a lot of artists too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of artists are like, man, I don't want you telling me what to do. Like I got myself here. Now that I'm here, you want to change everything I do?
Exactly.
Little Uzi Vert.
And I mean, it's like, I feel like more artists now shouldn't be looking towards, and I don't think they do, but I don't think any artist that's seen this, you should not look towards getting signed on to like these companies that are going to reap the money from you. You should just do it yourself and use these platforms that we were already talking about, like TikTok, Instagram, any tastemakers.
That's what the younger generation is doing. I mean,
the Gen Zers.
Yeah, but whether they get it, they get their popularity, and then the labels throw them a good sack, and they're like, because they're young, they're like, heck yeah, I'm gonna take.
It's like college football players.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Kerwin Frost guy? The guy that has like a big ass pencil on his face and does
No.
interviews.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's this one kid from like New York, and he does interviews. And I actually just saw him doing an interview with Tyler the Creator, and he was talking about like all his shoes and shit, and how he has like shoes with Converse. And then he was talking about how he just got to work on the new Grinch movie.
Wait, a new
animated
movie?
or live?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a new one. It's animated, and he did the whole soundtrack
Oh
for it.
yeah, they were gonna reboot the Grinch. Yeah, I remember now. He did the soundtrack. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes to show you music and the movie industry are really collaborating hard.
Yeah, it's just Tyler own his own sub label? Am I right? Is Flog Knob's
I wouldn't
own
be surprised
sub-label?
if it is.
Probably.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's got everything in his hands. Like he's got tons of creative control over everything that they're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why he was saying he likes Converse, because they just pretty much let him do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so important about everyone.
Was it? Kanye had to fight Nike, right?
Yeah,
He had to go through all
they
the
wouldn't
hoops.
even let him see his own shoes.
That's insane.
Hey man, Nike's like, we got the golden goose egg.
And they dropped it.
Yeah.
And then he just opened up his own shoe company.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck it. Just came out with like the 700 version 3s. It's
Yeah.
like, or V3, whatever. It's like, people are already buying them. They're like $500. It's over. Like, he comes out with a shirt that has a hole in it, and everybody's like $1,000 sold out. But
Yeah, for sure.
I
I
don't
mean, he's $1 billion company now with Yeezy.
Mm.
It's huge, and I mean,
With Kim.
Shots fired.
I mean, I know he's on a label and everything like that, so he didn't, he's got people backing him, probably in the best ways, but it's still incredible. I think it's really shifted a lot from, you look at like when rap first started becoming mainstream and labels had full control of everything, like you were talking about Chance the Rappers. It's really all in the artist's hands now on what they do and what they want to do. A lot of people are saying don't sign, blah, 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 or do sign depending on what you're wanting to do. But the fact that you get the choice to, like, you say, oh, this is how I want my career to go, and then you can go from there, that's what's the incredible part in my mind.
yeah, you just build from nothing. I mean, again, like, we're living in an age where you can almost do anything, like this podcast. Like, you could just start from literally nothing, build up, and then now you're just like a multi-million-dollar worth whatever. It's just, it's crazy the amount of creativity or the amount of tools we have at our disposal to get us in front of like the planet. But yeah, we just got to keep it up, and especially with rap, we just got to keep pushing the bar even higher.
What do you guys think is next?
As in,
The next new sound.
All right,
ooh.
here's what I'm thinking. I've been thinking this for a while now, right? And I just keep thinking about it. The last next best thing was Drake, right? Everyone with me on this one? Everyone, we're kind of in agreement, right?
Yeah.
But he's not American, quote unquote, right? And it's the American industry that you want to get into as an artist, because that's where you get the most streams, that's where you get the most money, that's everything. Everyone, when you break into music, you're doing it in the U.S., right?
For
in the
English
States,
rappers, I feel like, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
any rapper.
right?
Well, anybody speaks
Like,
English.
What's that guy's name? Who Little Bunny, Bad Bunny or something like that?
Bad Bunny,
Yeah.
Puerto
Yeah,
Rican,
Like,
yeah,
he came over here. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
yeah.
Puerto
And
Rican Drake.
Next
El
big thing.
Drake.
But I think the next person is gonna be from outside of the States that'll break in the States. I feel like it's gonna be a UK artist, someone from the UK that'll be the biggest.
Yeah, I would hope that we start seeing a lot more different international artists getting their sound in this country heard, because is at the point where I'm thinking us here in this country are trying to see more diversity.
For sure. And all
at
right,
the end of the day,
hear me out. When Drake first started rapping and we were listening to him, he sounded super American, right? He didn't say like my tings and woes and stuff like that in the beginning, but then he started to later, once everyone was on, Drake's tip, pause.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's going to be somewhat of what the next thing is. Like the next UK artist, I feel like a lot of Americans have an issue with listening to UK artists and stuff like that because it does sound so different and their accents are generally so heavy.
No, I've actually had a discussion with this with a coworker. I was telling him how I appreciate the UK artists that are getting to the rap and hip hop industry and putting out their music, and he just looked at me and was saying he could not he could not enjoy it whatsoever, and I just didn't understand. I was like, what is it that you don't enjoy about it? They have the right sound. They're working with a lot of locals in their country that want to do this music stuff, and it was there not to appreciate. And he just was saying it was their accent, and I just was
comes
cringing.
with time.
It just made me cringe. I was just like, really?
It's true though. I mean, people really do feel like that, and that's what I'm kind of getting at is that what I think UK artists is gonna come in and kind of figure that out and say, okay, I'm gonna go on this kind of American kind of fit that style in, and then once I catch, go back into that UK straight
Styles.
like grimy shit. What'd you say? What'd you
Harry
say?
Styles. Jesus.
The mic drop.
But I feel like that's gonna be the next person. I mean, do you agree, disagree?
I would agree.
I would
hope
say
so.
like, I think it would take like maybe two things, right? Because
For
I
the
would
UK artist, or
for any artist that's outside of America, because one, I mean, we already saw that there's like this merge of like Spanish music, rap, and it's like becoming this huge thing now, right? So that's kind of loosening the hold that like American rappers had, right? Where I mean, America pretty much is like this brand. Like if you're a rapper and you're not big in America, then you're not big anywhere. It seems.
Unfortunately.
I don't know. I beg to differ. I
Alright.
feel like even if you aren't big in America, I feel like you could still challenge, not necessarily play somebody's game, but I feel like you have options that there are other games that other artists from this country can't touch.
Well, I mean, I would say like you have, let's say, K-pop, right? Like I would strictly say it's probably gonna be from Korea.
Pretty
Like,
much.
Oh, well, I mean,
100%.
K-pop is Korean pop.
No. I mean a rapper though, right? Because you have anime. Nobody fucked with anime in the 90s. I mean, barely. Not everybody fucked with anime. And it was being made fun of. Now you have Michael B. Jordan.
But Dragon Ball Z was from the 90s, isn't it?
But still,
Dragon Ball Z
early-
was hot, boy.
But it wasn't-
What are you
but it wasn't
talking about?
big.
See, we grew up.
Yeah.
We
You're
grew
right.
up inspired by that. Other than that, though, it did take time.
Like if you came into a school one day and you did a Kamehameha wave, you'd get get the shit kicked out of you afterwards. Like
Unfortunately.
you'd be like, no, because back in the day it wasn't as big. Like it was big for us because we watched it avidly, but it wasn't as big. Now you have people these days being like, I watch anime, I got this. There was this period that it had to grow and become accepted, right? And I think all international artists kind of already understand that. And I'm saying like the fact that K-pop is already massive now, where the younger kids are watching it, almost anything over there they're watching. I feel like an artist from there, a rapper from Korea, like South Korea, of course, would blow up faster because there's already that connection between the two cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know who. What do they call it? BTS? That's their name. That
Behind the
K-pop
scenes?
group.
That's what it's.
No, I think that's the K. See, we don't even know.
That's what it
We're
stands
old,
for.
man. We're too old for this.
BDSM.
Pause.
All right. We're gonna have to go to a break.
No, it's BTS.
No, but they sell these K-pop artists like figurines inside of 7-Elevens.
Really?
7-Elevens.
You know
It's
what? We sell
crazy.
Mix One merch too. Get the merch.
Plug
Yeah.
it up.
Mix One Essentials, new merch out now.
Go get the merch, bro.
Shameless plug.
We need to show
Shameless
it. Show them the merch, bro.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, but no, you're right. Like it's huge. I mean, the only reason I know is because my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Like they come up to me and they're like this and this and this, and I'm just like, what when did this become big? And they're already having concerts in Jersey, New York, like, and thousands upon thousands of people are going.
You know what's another genre that's also popping? The Latin genres.
I mean, it was already here for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but not like now. I mean, now it's like people are just people who don't even speak Spanish are listening to it.
Bad Bunny.
Am
Yeah,
I late
yeah.
on this, or maybe I'm? No. Let me say this. I think I'm really early on this because I remember being like 13, singing "Daddy Yankee," Don Omar,
Yeah, but
Archangel,
but now
or
it's-
whatever his name is.
That was like by itself. Like that was a thing that was excluded to its own genre. But now it's mixing with other genres around, and it's not just itself only. Like it's itself plus other genres like pop, hip hop. I mean, there was a lyric from one of the recent one. I think it was Bad Bunny, but it was one of them that said, and it goes, "She doesn't even understand my language, but yet listen to her repeat my lyrics." that was the gist of it. That's not word for word what he said, but
That
that's
was
the gist
idea,
of
yeah.
it. And that's being played here in clubs, in events. I mean, you're like just seeing that pop everywhere. So it's like,
I agree. I mean, like back in the day, what you had Big Pun,
Yeah.
like stuff like that,
yeah.
where you're like, oh, I remember like listening to this like a lot. But again, I feel like that was the way for it to be introduced later, right? Because now you have Bad Bunny. I mean, like I remember Beyonce wanted to do one. Like almost everybody on the planet wanted to like
do a remix to everything.
and like tap into that. Like, didn't Justin Bieber do like an entire song in Spanish? Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that one.
yeah.
He did that hit
So it's
song.
like it was already like building and amassing.
Yeah.
And then you had these artists now that are like, oh, like we're already good. Boom, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. And you know what I like about a lot of it though is that it's like trap influenced, rap, Atlanta influenced. You know what I mean? Like the Bad Bunny is trap music in a sense. I guess it's a little more pop now, but
What
it
is
started
trap?
in that trap music.
What is
style.
trap music?
The drums,
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
the drums, the beat,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
the cuts in the beat that make it drop.
Like, okay, let me
Tell
ask
him
you
about
this.
it, producer.
Like, and one of the reasons why I brought up King of the Dot, is do you feel like now it's more about the beat than the lyrics? Do you feel like it's 50-50, or do you feel like it's still all about the lyrics and less about the beat?
It's the beat and the hook, and then the King of the Dot is more about a punchline.
It's more about like just straight
Punchlines,
lyrics.
like that's where, like that's why everybody liked Eminem, because Eminem always had the best punchlines and the funniest hooks and the
Preach.
craziest videos.
Slamming them,
But now you have
slamming
And
them.
now we got
Lil Boat.
now we got Nick Cannon trying to come at him.
Yeah,
Bro, he's 3 diss songs in right now, and Eminem hasn't responded.
I don't.
You know
I
the
don't think it
Stan
warrants
video?
a response. Yeah, it's Nick Cannon. I
He's
mean,
the
I think
Stan.
after the first one, he was like,
like didn't Eminem already slap back at Mariah Carey, which also was a slap back at Nick Cannon?
No,
Yeah.
Mariah Carey dropped the hardest diss song of all
I
time.
don't know.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Eminem
oh, I thought-
revealed a lot of secrets that I thought was like, and then Nick Cannon had
Hold
no
on.
response for
Why-
like.
Nick Cannon
decade.
said Eminem was sucking dick in the back of his limo. What? That's a secret, bro.
I mean, what? How would
that's
Nick
I
Cannon
mean, that's
know?
great though. You know, support the LGBT.
Yeah, but how would Nick Cannon know, right?
Community.
Like, shameless
Oh
plug.
man, what if it
Exactly.
was Nick Cannon?
We need to stop doing this because then Eminem's gonna respond and he's gonna slap back at all of us.
Slamming him,
we
slamming him.
We're going deep down the rabbit
I'm gonna
hole,
have like a
guys.
Facebook request. It's like, who's Peanuts? And then I'm gonna add him, and he's gonna know everything about my life, and he's gonna slap so hard. It's like, oh,
But yeah, that's a rabbit hole we can't go down.
Eminem, I'm sorry. Don't come at us. Mix essentials.
and we want all the smoke.
Please Reddit this song about us. Oh man.
How's he gonna rhyme mix one
ASMR.
essentials?
I don't know. He'll do it. think
know,
he
right?
rhymed
He's gonna
orange
rhyme it
once,
with
and I was like-
orange.
I was like, oh shit.
Orange with door hinge.
He's a god.
Just throwing that rhyme in there for anybody's
He's
trying to
gonna
rhyme
get Chris
orange
D'Elia
with.
in his
I'm already
video.
Using
sweating from
door
like,
hinge.
like fear.
Talking over each other.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It got crazy.
I can't even understand what you guys are saying.
Eminem's throwing us
Oh man.
Good times.
That's
All
good
right.
Uh,
man.
You guys ready to talk about 6ix9ine?
Bro,
Gang
go to the
culture of
questions
New
before
York.
we do it.
Intermission.
Intermission
Go to the what?
questions.
Go to the questions. We need the questions.
All right. Fan question. This one's for everybody. At Cyrus World Peace on Instagram, I believe. What is your individual style? And this one's for later. What is Mix One Essentials style?
What do you mean by style?
So our individual like music style.
fashion style.
I think it means
It's a pretty broad question.
Yeah, super broad.
Well,
I would say
Music.
in like fashion style, because he was commenting on some merch that we have posted
Mhm.
on Mix One Essentials Instagram. What are you looking for in fashion?
what am I looking for? in
Or
fashion?
actually, let me tweak his question a little bit. What are you looking for in hip hop rap fashion? How do you feel about it all?
Ooh, got a lot of ideas. I'm gonna go last though.
No.
if anything, I guess I'll start. For
All right.
me, I I'm one that embraces the roots of where hip hop originated. We gotta remember that it's still something that's not been fully exposed as long as pop and rock and roll and all the other genres that had early starts. This is something that had to start with inspiration of jazz and blues, and then from there going to funk, and then from funk we see
Disco?
the funk and disco, but then from there we see the artists that we grew up with, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, we see Notorious Big, Tupac. Those guys after that evolution of funk made us and disco made us scene that inspired what we grew from there. So for me, it's about the roots. I like it when it's something that
So you want to see that on clothes? You want to see that
yes,
represented by something in apparel?
Yes, I would like to see the preservation of that.
That would be cool. Having like a old school like
Polo.
hip hop, not maybe old school polo, or just something resembling back in the day, or like an image of a old school rap group or rapper or MC or DJ.
Are you saying like you want to see the images, or are you saying like the fashion that also carried with rap?
Just the stuff, because like you see right here, like I'm rocking my vintage hoodie shirt. It's something that was around in something that was inspired by the '90s and that
in the times.
Yeah, in the time. Yeah.
Would you like to see a modern twist to that, or keep it old school?
I like to see. Oh yeah, modern twist. I wouldn't diss a modern twist. Something that somebody really felt passionate about. You know, I would have to respect their commitment to it. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. It's good to keep it back to the roots, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, because everything starts there, you know? All this fashion and everything in the industry starts at roots somewhere. Like, you know, you start to think, like, denim jackets are back. That was big, and then name the year. You know what I mean?
When we saw Aerosmith and you know, and other bands that followed those guys, it was that inspiration that they got from, you know, rock artists that were coming actually from the Europe, you know, that were wearing, you know, punk. It was huge. You know, people were wearing the denim vest and all the tight jeans. It's something that you gotta be able to understand that it's roots that laid the foundation.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
I get that. Like personally, I would like to see something more towards the future, like that breaks away from the mold a lot more. I do find, I mean, we just talked about the denim jackets, but we find that fashion maybe like in 40 years always recycles and comes back and comes back and comes back. And so then the original spot where originated kind of gets muddy, where it then falls into like, well, hearsay, like, oh, well, I believe it came from here and I came from here and I did this or whatever, right? I would like to see, like, I would say, like, bring back the Yeezys, like something that's just like, wow, that's really ridiculous, but it will grow on you, right? Because a lot of times you find that a lot of stuff we're seeing now was already built or made that we see, and we're like, oh, well, that's like really new, but it was already made like years ago, right? Like, I like how more pop, not pop in music wise, but more just like pop art-ish is being introduced into like rap, right? Where you had the New Boys and the skinny jeans and those types of colors that were really like in your face, that grew into something that was a little bit more subtle, right? Like I would say New Boys was like what, 2010s, 2011?
I think it was 2009.
2009s, yeah. So like 2009s up to
You're
like,
a jerk.
yeah, to like 2010s. Like New Boys, and then it's flipped over to like Big Sean maybe, and then it flipped over again, and it kept going. But you would see that with each iteration, there was like a newer phase in like fashion and in hip hop. Now I feel like we're kind of reaching too far back sometimes and bringing back like the classic well, if we look at our pants, I mean, we had joggers, we have skinny jeans. Now we're going back to like the dad pants, I guess.
Yeah, baggy pants are starting to come back.
Yeah, and
Those
it's
like
just
straight cuts.
yeah, and it's like, okay, that's cool.
Billie
but I mean,
Eilish.
Yeah,
Billie Eilish is the one bringing all the baggy stuff back.
and the
for
big
real.
and the big dad shoes.
Shout
Like
out to Billy.
I saw her at what is it? Not Janice Live. God, what? It's like Austin, Texas. We have like this big concert. She was there. She got her ring stolen and she got choked out a little by her fans. It was kind of weird. But
Billie Eilish did?
yeah, she even talked about it because
Yeah,
she
that's
like dove into the crowd, and then one of the fans just like took the ring. They returned it to her first of all.
okay.
It was, it was a like a gold
Considerate.
diamond ring or something.
Yeah,
They snatched it, and then one of the girls, I guess, like was trying to like pet her, but like accidentally like choked her a little, and so she was like, "Oh shit!" Like I need to get the fuck out of here.
I hope Billy wasn't too traumatized.
Oh no, she loved it, but like yeah, she gets like
Whoa.
I mean not way. Well, first of all, she's
She's 18 now.
yeah, I
guys.
got what
Happy birthday, Billie Eilish.
is it her birthday today?
It's not today, but she just turned 18 recently.
Well, happy birthday.
Belated.
Yeah. But yeah, now they're reaching back to like the dad shoes, dad pants, blah blah blah. Like I want something more forward, where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming at all, right?
Yeah.
I want something more refreshing. I don't want to see the same rehash of everything else. Bring back the past, but also add the future to it.
Sounds like
I
a
like
good
that.
combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you
I
throw
would
that
like to
fusion
throw a
card.
dash of like more environmentally stable clothes
Yes.
because there's a lot of plastics that make our clothes and a lot of wasteful things.
And
I'm just
gas
saying.
and oil.
Well, I'm just saying, but it's not like a big deal to me. But I mean, just splash that in there.
Oh, you're right. I mean, you're
That's-
definitely right. A
that's
lot of
the-
third world
yeah.
countries are suffering because of
Yeah,
our
that's-
throwing away culture.
yeah, that's exactly where.
And who better to push something better than hip hop?
Trump. Oh.
Yeah. Drop out.
Take
We
that out.
talking Kanye
Take that
college
out. Take that
dropout.
I'm just saying, like hip hop is a big platform that's on the move towards the future. It's one of the
Mhm.
one of the platforms that I think you can bet on that will be here 10 years from now. 5 years from now. It's as far as I'm gonna think it's gonna be around.
100 years, like
Yeah.
they're listening to
Yeah.
old
Maybe.
Kanye, like classic Beethoven.
Well, I,
Like,
I
oh,
think,
yeah.
I mean, going on to that, a lot of people are wondering at this point in time, like, how long does hip hop keep going? Me personally, I think it goes for a long time, way longer than 10 years, longer than 20 years. I mean, I guess you have to think about how long other music styles had been around, like how long was rock around. I really don't know.
But did rock end it? Kind of like look at it.
Rock's over. Bro, rock's over. People used to mosh to rock music. Now they're moshing to
rap.
rap music, you know.
Bro, did you see the video of the people moshing at the Denny's?
Yeah,
Yo,
that was
what?
crazy. Shout out to that party. Whoever threw that, he had to pay $1,000.
It was like a band. It was like a band.
It was a band,
And like
a rock band,
in California in a Denny's. They
a
had
rock band.
they got that shit packed and they moshed in the Denny's.
Nobody moshes.
A mosh. It was a mosh
Well,
pit.
isn't like rock and rap like merged now? Like not like in the old 2000s of Linkin Park, but like isn't like Brockhampton bringing that shit in?
Kind of-ish.
Brockhampton's not really rock, right?
It's
They're
not?
more like sing-songy folk almost.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
But don't they merge rap into that?
In a way,
In a sense,
A little
like,
bit, but not so much.
I mean,
they're more like folk music.
it's more like elements from rock that kind of transferred into the hip hop. Like screaming,
Mhm.
screaming music was never a rap thing.
Nope.
Nope.
It was always rock and all that.
Yeah, but you look at Apple Music's new playlist that's trending right now. It's called emo rap, and you got to think that like is stemming from rock music.
Well, yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a whole thing now where you have internet emo boys, internet emo girls. It's the same like
Goth boy click.
E-girls. E-boys.
Yeah. When they, with the flipped hair and like, I don't know, they look homeless. It's just like a weird thing right now.
Emotion.
It's a thing. It's like emo back in the day was like, I wear black, I fight against it. I don't know, some shit. But now it's like I shop at Hot Topic. Now they're shopping at like Prada, but they're still emo, and it's like I can't keep up right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the artist at JoJo the Entity, shout out JoJo the Entity, that released his newest music video on Mix One Essentials
Mhm.
YouTube
Mhm.
and Instagram. He requested that one of the tags was rock rap on the YouTube. So
Interesting. Why?
yeah.
Why do you request that?
Because
Just
K-pop
genre.
is for virgins.
Whoa.
Shout out YT Vicious.
Shout out to all the virgins out
K-pops
there. It's okay to be
for
a
virgins.
virgin.
Hey, we go play Pop Smoke next.
My God.
Yeah, Pop Smoke's huge. Huge. I mean, all right, let's go into this next topic.
Okay.
Wait.
New York gang culture.
Did you do the other question?
No, not yet. We'll get into the next one later.
You
New
seem very
York
happy
gang
about that.
culture. New York. I mean, I feel like Pop Smoke is definitely. I'm not saying he's in a gang, but his music feels like it's gang culture.
I'm unaware of this guy.
You don't know who Pop Smoke is?
No.
We'll put you on.
It-
Check out Essentials 003. I
Mhm.
believe Pop Smoke. What is it? Meet the Woo is leading
Meet the
that
Woo?
playlist
Meet the
out
Woo.
there right now.
Oh,
How,
that's
how, does,
banger.
how does it go? I need to like.
You just gotta bob your head because
Yeah.
that's all that's gonna happen once it plays.
Interesting.
Yeah, seriously, seriously.
Shawty, you gonna meet the woo?
But you got to believe gang culture is so huge in music. You know, like not even just New York if you think about it, but you look at like Roddy Ricch, who's a Crip, right? That's so heavy in his music. But he doesn't even do it in like an in-your-face way, but it's there all the way through, especially his like latest album. And you see like where he's from and stuff like that.
Yeah, New York's specifically New York has been through a whole transformation and deconstruction and then transformation,
6ix9ine.
deconstruction, and and this whole thing has like influenced the people living there, from living in.
Hey, you think Charlamagne's gonna suck him up, bro?
Where does all this coming from? We like left
If he
field
gets
with
out-
this shit. What?
If he gets out,
No.
Why would
he's not
Charlamagne
doing
do-
that.
what?
because he
What?
bet
He
him.
said-
He told him.
What?
Yeah, he did say it, but
He said it.
What did he
just-
say? I need to hear the whole thing. What,
He,
what is
I don't care,
Charlamagne said
though.
he would suck 6ix9ine's dick if he beat the case. 6ix9ine didn't beat the case. Though.
I mean,
He beat the case.
He did
He's
not.
coming out
He
in
got-
a year, bro.
that's not beating the case. You're coming out.
He's
what?
still in prison.
Yeah, like you don't go to prison if you beat the case.
Yeah.
Why is this urgent?
No, I'm like when he said it, I was just like
He got
I felt like it was a lie.
he
but
got out of a RICO charge with 2
he
years.
snitched on everybody.
Yeah, that's how you get out of that.
I think
Because Rico is going
6ix9ine
through
really
everybody.
tarnished gang culture in New York.
But what is gang culture in New York, right? Like, I mean, even gang members know that, like, the gangs that they're in, it's harmful to them. But there's other gangs that kind of just like help the community, right? So, like, what is gang culture, like, in the terms of rap?
It's a kind of like, if you think about it, like all the people that weren't really fit to survive,
Mm-hmm.
they all just gathered together because they're not fit to survive in the normal settings that everybody else is used to, you know, like go get a job, go do this.
Mm-hmm.
You got school, you
Mhm.
got, I mean, you got friends, family, everybody, you got a whole network of people willing and able to help you survive in these settings that our society has, you know, made us try to survive in. But when there's people that can't, you know, kind of live within those settings, well, what happens to them? They get excluded. So then what happens to all those people? That's millions of people excluded. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to create their own society. And in a way, that's what gangs are. I mean, you come from New York specifically. I'm just talking about New York. I don't really know New York like that, but I've read a little bit of history, and I mean, like I said, deconstruction, construction, deconstruction, construction. So the settings have been changing forever,
Mm-hmm.
and that has, you know, shifted people from being part of the normal society to being exiled, and then forming gangs to survive, forming gangs to kind of hold that structure that was supposedly something for them to live in and not able to now. And, you know, they're like, okay, so we're going to make our own.
I want to kind of. So, is that in a negative way or positive?
It could be taken anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
if you look at our quote unquote perfect society, we also have
I
corruption
mean, like
within
in
le-
gangs, though.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is like, it doesn't, you're going to have it regardless, and more in gangs because it's not as structured. It's not as, you know, sophisticated as this giant system
Police
outside of it.
gangs.
Yeah.
I mean, police gangs are part of the government,
Jail
which is part of
gangs.
another,
Which is-
group, which is part of another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to find groupings of people regardless if they're good or bad.
Military gangs.
Pretty much.
I mean, so again, like, what is gang culture in rap, right? Because
What is it?
I've heard like some gang culture where you have like MS-13 always coming out with like their own lyrics, and especially in like in LA,
Yeah.
and they already just had that whole entire MS-13 where 96 people were arrested. over at, I think it was Long Island, that got arrested and brought in, right?
Mhm.
But most of their lyrics typically promote like violence, right?
Yeah.
Where then you have other gangs
That's
who are also in gang culture that don't I mean, they have to dabble in it sometimes, but they don't particularly like use that as their pedestal to get more recruits. It's like, hey, let's hang out. I'm gonna help you out. Maybe
Yeah.
we're in a gang. I mean, Black Lives Matter movement was turned into a gang by other people
By
saying
white people.
yeah, exactly. By other people saying it was a gang, but it was a movement to help other people. So
Yeah, I
gang,
mean,
gang
sorry.
life in rap.
Yeah, a lot of gang culture that I think people forget about is the positive things that gangs
Yeah.
do for people too. You
Like I
know,
said,
like
you gotta
a lot
thrive,
of gangs will
survive.
do food drives, clothes drives. They'll
Mhm.
help people out in their neighborhood.
Shout out
And
to the
that's
Black
what a lot
Panthers.
of people
Yeah,
seek
right.
in the first place. You
Mhm.
know, when you don't have anybody, when you feel outcasted, or just say in the environment, that's just kind of what is perpetuated, right? Just
Mhm.
kind of leaving people alone. You'll look for that gang because you're looking for family, and when you think about it, that's a positive. Like, oh,
Mhm.
these people are going to embrace me and everything like that. Now, negatives come with it. There's always
And
a negative
cost of
with
it.
positives and stuff like that, but they really do a ton for people. And
Yeah.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, what is like Hell's Angels a gang, right?
Yeah, I mean a lot
But
of
not
that
like in the law,
Motorcycle gang.
motorcycle. Gang.
but not in like the way the law would perceive. Like
No.
Hell's Angels.
No.
Compared
No,
to,
it's a
No,
gang.
it's a
It's
gang.
a real
It's a
gang.
gang.
No, I
a
know
real
it's a gang, but
No, the law
The law
classifies
says
it as
Yeah,
a
it's
gang.
a real gang.
There's
a bunch of
that because there was a point where they would look at, let's say, and I'm gonna say like mostly Caucasian-based groups as not gangs.
White devils
But
is
then
what I like to call
they
them.
just recently said like all shootings were now classified as terrorism, where before it wasn't. And when I asked about like gang culture in rap, I was asking mostly like the way that we perceive gang culture in rap is, for the most part, is usually negative. Like the people who get the most clout, the people who get put up on the highest pedestal, is usually through violence. 6ix9ine, like that's an extreme. That's insane that his music vibes with so many people to not hurt people, but they rock to it. And I mean, it's a good beat, and that comes back to, is it beat that people like, or is it lyrics?
The beat.
Because if it's lyrics, then that's fucked up.
No, I think a lot of it's lyrics. Like when, all right, I like 6ix9ine. Okay, I think he could be a good guy.
found him.
all right? Okay,
Police.
listen. I like 6ix9ine.
Call the cops.
When I listened to some of his music, it made me, the white guy who does nothing wrong like ever,
What's
want to hit licks, rob people.
Jeez.
Like I was like, man, hyped up constantly, and that was because of his lyrics, not necessarily just the beat. I mean, you could have put that beat over like, or you could have put those lyrics over like next.
So
to
you're
anything,
telling
and
me
that was just
Gummo
hype.
wasn't hard because of the beat?
Gummo was definitely hard because of the beat, but
I still say 50-50. I mean, there's occasions you're going to see that the lyrics outshine the beat, and then vice versa. And it's just all depends on your taste and what you're into and what your environment has you surrounded by. I mean, when we get to the gang part, I feel like it's like the gangs kind of notice, like, hey, we're in a die and breed situation. How do we go out with a bang? And then the music industry was like, well, we'll open arms, come in, you know, and was like, it's their new home. It's their new outlet to promote themselves. It's their new, and it, for the good and the bad that came along with that. I mean, it just all depends on, you know, your environment that you're in. Like for some people, it was a good thing because it built self-esteem, or, I mean, I'm just throwing hypotheticals out there, but it, you know, it promoted people to kind of get this backbone that they never had.
Is that how you felt?
Not specifically, but that's how I see the public that never ever understood gang culture and now is being kind of like bombarded by it through the music. Like, you know, it kind of builds you into having sort of feelings of, you know, feelings you don't never had, aggressive feelings, or, you know, just, and, you know, that could all be directed in a good way or in a bad way. It just depends on the individual and their environment that they're surrounded by. If you're somebody who's surrounded by killers and all you're listening to is music about killing, you know what's going down. But if you're, you know, going down, you know, the nice street and, you know, you're just going down to get your coffee and, you know, you're like banging some hard ass like rap music and like, you're just like, fuck yeah, I'm ready for the day. Nothing's gonna stop me. Like,
But is it
I
the
picture-
beat or is it the lyric?
like
that
I said,
pumps you up?
50-50, man. Because you can't really say it's the beat or the
Mhm.
lyrics, because you just can't say everybody has the same taste and that
Yeah.
everybody's gonna have.
That's such an
That's true.
individualistic
But then
thing.
I feel like that's
What's the
that's
majority?
obvious, right? 'Cause
What's the
then you have
majority?
The
You could-
people that, like, it's obvious, right? Because then you have the people that know what their life is about and know like where they're heading, and so they have that strong fix of going, I'm not gonna let something like deter me,
Mhm.
and let it be like music,
Yeah.
right? Like then you can say, oh well, I play Mortal Kombat. I'm not gonna like fucking
Finish him.
yeah,
Yeah.
finish someone in like I don't know Publix
Yeah.
because my sub wasn't made the right way.
Right.
But then you have those people that just how you say, maybe they're kicked down. You have the incels. You have people like that who, if you not know what incel is like involuntary celibacy. It's the people that usually cause the mass shootings that will listen to things and be like, you know what, I'm about this. Like, I'm not saying rap and gang culture provide like a way for them to be like, oh, I'm just, this is my hype music, but you never know, right? And a lot of times where you have like what Nipsey,
Yeah.
like he
R.I.P.
wanted,
Nipsey.
yeah, he
R.I.P.
wanted people to come together, right?
Yeah.
Positive. But then you have 6ix9ine, blood, rainbow teeth, whatever. He was.
Well,
it
let
was.
me
It was
let me throw you an
ridiculous, right?
analogy, or just a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only difference between that and the military is how you picture it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like-
a good metaphor.
One's backed by the law, and then one's not.
Well, outside of just laws and whatnot, it's the
Mhm.
same thing. Like, just like Nipsey is a good person from a bad situation that he was trying to regroup people, so are people in the military. Like, they're surrounded by horrible situations, but they're in their minds, they're trying to gather everything for the better. They're trying to do all this for the better. And I mean, that's all it is. It's just your environment and the things you're surrounded by and your own personal taste that's going to dictate how you view these things.
That makes sense. But then again, you have the army, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Rangers. You have all these people that are backed by a government that is
Right.
put as the sword and shield to defeat other people, which are also gangs like Taliban and everybody else, who in their minds also go, well,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing is correct,
Mm.
so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And not saying I'm condoning whatever they've done,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you look at it and you go, well, they were put in a rough situation, and not everybody who's Arabic did that. Who comes from that land does that, right?
Well, it
But
goes same
then-
with gang culture.
But
I
then
mean-
with gang culture, right, you have gangs like MS-13
Yeah.
who produce music
Mhm.
generally to recruit,
Yeah.
to bring in people.
Pretty
And
much.
so when we talk about like gang culture and rap, I want to make sure that we also understand there's good and there's bad, and then
Pretty much.
we want to hype the good ones like Nipsey, and we want to downplay the people like MS-13. Who
Well, then that just
typically-
lands on your moral code, and everybody has a different moral code.
But
I
how
mean-
do we progress as a society if we're gonna all listen to the same music, right? Because then you have the people who want to
Well,
tear
that's the
it
thing.
down.
You
and
just have
the
to
people
learn
that
to
wanna
live with
bring it
people
up.
who don't share the same similarities with you.
It's not about similarities. It's about do
Right.
you want to survive?
I
and
said
do you want
it's
to
for
survive?
people. You just have to learn to live with people who don't have the same similarities with you.
But it's not. Again, it's like
Okay.
similarities as
I
in
see what you're
yeah, like I'm black, you're Hispanic,
saying.
he's black, he's white. We're different,
Hey man,
but I
the
mean,
bridge is the music.
Exactly.
yeah, I'm about to
Yeah,
drop a
yeah.
fire mixtape and be like, hey, let's all hold hands. 'cause
R&B album.
I'm coming out of Austin. I'm like, fuck it. I'm
Well,
coming to Florida.
let's go into a fan question that might have a little bit to do with this.
Alright.
It's at Drop. What is the future of media outlets for musicians? So if you think about gang culture, and not even just that, but all different types of music and how culture affects it all, do you think that changes how outlets will adapt to the artists depending on what they're into? So if you talk about, Ron, the good gang culture and bad gang culture, if you're a label, if you're a media outlet, what are you going to pick up? A lot of times people go for negative things because it's just going to catch all the views. It's going to hit all the clicks, right? And the positives don't really necessarily do that quite as much. I'm just saying. How do you think media outlets are going to take everything? How do you think media outlets are going to accept different artists and what they're about?
It's a good question. I feel like eventually there's just going to be so many media outlets, and I'm hoping that there's good competition within it all, that you get to see a little bit of everything without really having to fully commit to one side. So it's going to be more of a maybe this month this media outlet's popping, the next month this media outlet's popping, and so on and so on. And of course, I guess, depending on the people's taste, what are we going to listen to is, what's going to have on that media outlet. It just depends on your taste.
Well, let's just hope the competition gets healthy. That's all I can say. We see too much good artists as Juice World, R.I.P., Nipsey, Mac Miller. Just too many good artists that want to bring in that positivity. That want to bring in the music that will unite, and just it comes down to the issues with the music industry, how Lil Peep, for example, was getting fed just unnecessary
drugs,
amounts of it in Juice WRLD in his situation, where he thought the only choice was to do something that ridiculous and wind up having to cost him his life. It's just, we gotta. It's just when it comes down to it, the industry's gotta let it be known that that's unnecessary. At the end of the day, you aren't the thing that has to lose yourself. You aren't the person that has to lose yourself and lose your life just to bring in that music that inspires you, that moves you and motivates you. You don't have that's unnecessary.
Yeah, but on another note, another outlet that I see popping up would probably be VR, virtual reality concerts, virtual reality meetups, virtual reality listening parties, virtual reality. I mean, it'll connect so many people. Like, you thought an audience of 100,000 was going to be the only thing a concert could drag in, but 100,000 plus everybody who has that technology outside in the world, millions of people are going to be able to witness musical talents perform.
Mhm.
And I think that will shift the way genres will evolve also.
Like the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you get rid of time and space being a factor, you can sell
Mhm.
more, like the internet.
Pretty much.
That's true. I mean, like the NBA was already looking at something like that,
Yeah.
right? Where you can be courtside with your VR, but of course you have to pay, like, maybe not courtside seats, but
But you
close
get a
to
good,
it.
yeah.
do you also feel like
Floor seats.
That's what we want.
Pass me the rock.
that's how you do it? You're also under like the net. You're just watching the ball drop. You're like, oh, I'm here. I can throw my.
You get it from the mascot's perspective.
Oh my god,
All you see is flips.
I'd throw up after that. But do you also feel like there's a negative to that? Maybe like a disconnect. Like
In a sense, yes.
Mhm.
But I think it could be not limited, but I think it could be the way they would do it would have to be a little bit more natural, in the sense that, okay, maybe we're not going to, promote that to the people right around the block that can, be at the concert. But for people who are across the world that their dreams were to be witness musical performance, like for people like that, I feel like it would really connect the bridge instead of, make it seem like this is a disconnection.
Yeah, and I think that would help a lot of artists, like what you're talking about with Juice WRLD and Peep and them passing, is just being able to reach people a lot easier and interact with them in an easier way. I mean, it already seems really easy with the internet, but then you think about VR, like what you're saying, when people are technically in front of you and can see almost like how your movements and actions and stuff like that are.
Or holograms. I mean, if we're not just talking about VR, holograms could be the next thing
That
too.
was getting big.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, but not for like already past artists, right? Like just current.
No,
artists.
current art.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
or anybody.
Like not
but
to resurrect the
no,
dead, but
no.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just for people who can't like experience their favorite artist and maybe it'll make even watching the flesh, the actual person
Mm-hmm.
live even more of a memorable situation, because you're like, I'm so used to now watching him on VR or only holograms that the day you do actually see him
You're,
live,
like,
it's like
losing it.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience. It just builds up the hype even more.
Yeah,
So-
because for me, like, when it came to that whole Tupac hologram, it was just so cringy.
Yeah.
I was saying to myself,
It's like a Ghostbuster movie.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, do I need to get the ghost blaster?
Get the trap.
Yeah, because it's the unfortunate fact that it's known that the man's passed. That the only thing we have is the music that he left for us to remember.
And that keeps coming out somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every day.
You know, I don't even think a lot of young kids want to see Tupac in VR. Like, they don't
No.
even know who this
I was
guy
about, yeah,
is.
they
you know?
probably were like, who?
You know what I mean?
Like, he's so old.
Like,
Is he?
if you start putting super current rappers in VR, like you saw the Baby did a whole show on FaceTime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You start putting
That's-
current
'cause he's
rappers
That's
in
pre-VR
VR,
right there.
kids will be excited.
That's pre-VR right
Like,
there.
he couldn't get to the show, so he was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to do it.
He did.
live
That's
from
that man's
That's-
about his bag, bro. He's not messing around. Like, there's a lot of
Oh, and it would triple the
phony ass
money.
artists who are like, I'm about it, but
Yeah.
then don't
But
pull up on the
Yeah.
FaceTime.
Did he?
Come on,
Did he
man.
get paid though?
He probably got paid a bonus.
I
off
mean,
of
he-
that
it
one,
got-
man.
He
got-
reconciled it. in a
you know,
sense.
the fact of the
They
matter
still
that he
loved
was,
him.
the fact of the matter he was already recognized.
The worth of saving the connection. Was
Yeah,
in
that was
itself.
that's what was the thing that he was trying to preserve.
Yeah. That's worth more than any money.
way
And
worth.
I would say, just on a tangent, maybe we should get rappers like immediate, like help, right? Because I feel like when you guys are talking about like just being fed drugs, it's
Mhm.
like, well, shit. I don't think it's about connecting to fans. I think it's like we need like a therapist or somebody who's not gonna just keep pumping them with drugs to come in and be like, hey, there's a better word,
Mhm.
a better way of doing
Better
this.
way, yeah.
Yeah, like because I feel like again, the artist has to become the brand.
Yeah.
And when you're the brand, anything you do has to be on brand. Like you can't see Little Peep at like a dog show.
True.
I mean, he probably could, but
That's
like
a
I mean,
stretch, too.
you just can't see him do something like off. Well, they're all off the wall.
Off brand.
Yeah, just off brand.
Yeah.
Because they'd rein him in, and be like, hey, you can't do this.
All right. Lala wants us to jump into another fan question. So we talked about this a little bit earlier about what our favorite artists are, but at the Red Painting wants to know, what is everyone's favorite song and why? What about it's really getting to you
All
guys?
right. Currently, let me show.
Oh, it's
Let's
wait,
go
all
current.
like current.
Well, I get favorite song. Nah, it doesn't have to be current.
'cause it-
What's up?
Okay.
Because I just mean currently
If
at
you
this
wanna do
time.
current.
What my favorites? Not like
Yeah,
the current.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
the current music?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just-
Yeah, like give us the name and the artist.
It's all gonna be Kanye.
He's got to look it up. All right, I'll start. Roddy Ricch, The Box.
The-
oh,
The
snap.
box, bro. That's on. That's
That
on
is
The
Damn.
hard.
We can't do a
dude.
top 5.
Woo.
Eat-oo.
That shit is
Ew.
so hard, man. Just like fuck 12, fuck the ops. Ooh. Had to hide it in the box. You know that man. I'm just saying this allegedly might have caught a body. I'm just saying.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Favorite
My
rapper.
face on here? Yeah.
And that's
6ix9ine
another one of the-
at the
Wait a minute.
at the podium. It was Dylan.
That's
Dylan snitched.
he's like in the corner just with a cell phone. He's like, I just saw something go down.
But that's another one of those songs that I listen to that and it makes me want to rob somebody for some reason.
God.
Like that, when I turn music on, I want to feel like that, man. Sometimes I don't want to rob anybody, but I want to feel like I want to rob somebody sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to. It's just like when you go to the
Sometimes.
gym, you're
Yeah,
like,
right.
okay, I need to play this music that's gonna pump me up, so I can do this extra 10 pounds that I couldn't do last week. You know what I mean? I want to listen to that type of music and just like ride around in my car, sit a little bit lower in the car, and just like feel like the hardest person around. While Roddy Ricch is like hiding it in the box, man. You feel me? Yeah, easily. That's why.
I like the Baby Keem song, Stats, and it changes up.
Is that a part of the reason why you like it? Because it changes up, or what?
Yeah, it goes from like one song into like a different kind of song.
That's a pretty huge thing.
Kind
though.
of like how that Frank Ocean song was, The Nights, or I can't remember. You know, it's just kind of like a change up.
Yeah, I like that ASAP Rocky song. That was it, Pretty Flocko Jody or something like that.
Yeah,
that
and it-
switched up entirely.
It's the one that goes into the fucking Gleesh.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
Gleesh.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Gleesh
For
walk.
me, currently, it's 03 Greedo Maria. I mean, the name. I remember Maria.
Who the fuck is Maria, bro?
That's exactly who she is.
My mom's name is Maria.
Oh,
Well,
no.
she,
I'm telling my mom.
Hey, I think you have to ask your mom.
It all
bro.
comes
And that
out.
sound, bro, when that shit bangs, and he's like, I pull up on Maria. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. Pull up on that bitch. Come on.
Would it matter what the beat was?
Yeah, the beat goes right with the name.
Mm.
The beat goes right with the name. Like Maria and the beat, just right. Like two big cheeks.
Gotcha.
Well, for me, I'd have to say, and I might butcher it, and I apologize if I do, but my man 𝐂𝐐𝐏𝐘𝐑𝐈𝐆 X, he goes hard on this song called Magic Trick. He dropped it, and I heard that stuff, and I was like, fire, man.
Why'd you like it?
What? Just how it was so. It was just so creative. It was original. That's what I liked about it. The instrumental was original. Was something just when it comes to listening to the music nowadays, something that I haven't seen an artist go out their way to try. He just the mix that he blended with the sound. It felt like an old school Irish rock band mixed in with hip hop, and it just melded together so perfectly.
That's a random combination, but if he made it work, and I heard a couple of songs, that may go hard.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ron?
Heard him say.
Heard him
Kanye.
say?
Heard him say by Kanye, but which
was dropping
Kanye
out.
though?
The old Kanye.
Oh, we're talking Bronze Age, huh?
Yeah, man.
Now it's a
Wow.
Silver
Good
Age.
Kanye. Yeah, that's this stuff now. I'm like Chick-fil-A number one.
Chick-fil-A.
What are we doing?
We need to bring the copper back. That's what.
Yeah, no, like that was a good song because especially like living in Queens, like perched up in front of the TV. The music video came out for that song, and I watched it, and it was just like Kanye was homeless with like 2 kids. They broke into a Macy's. It was Adam Levine or whatever that man's name is, from Maroon
Yo,
5.
Duval.
He was like the security guard, and he was just like, "All right, I'm gonna let y'all in." And they had like a good Christmas.
That's cool.
That was the thing.
That's good. That's
But
good.
the song was also good by itself.
I mean, but visuals help. Sometimes a music video does make you want to listen to the song even more.
It helps you like really visualize like, the words they're saying
Mhm.
with the beat and like just the somberness of
Yeah.
the beat. Especially in particular of that song.
All right, so we just got another listener's question in right now, and we'll just end this one out. I do not have anything for the stream to see, but at Catwoman in Paradise,
I like the name.
who's your biggest
Should I?
inspiration right now?
Damn, that's a go in the music industry.
Wait, what's
Has
it
to be
on?
Edward.
On Instagram? Catwoman, was it?
Let me pull it
Catwoman
up.
at
Is it on Instagram or was it on?
Huh?
On Instagram,
Paradise,
at
Florida?
Catwoman in Paradise.
Catwoman.
Who is your biggest inspiration
Music-wise.
right now?
Music.
I mean, I would take it as anything.
In
Your
life?
biggest inspiration. I think maybe this person just wants to know about us as individuals.
We'll do 2. Outside of music and inside of music.
All right, go ahead, start it off, man.
Outside of music, I gotta give it to my man, the Musk of Elon's.
Oh,
I was like,
who is
what
he
the
talking
fuck?
about right now?
The Musk of Elon's, bro.
Get that compliment out here.
Oh,
Party foul.
Oh my
20
gosh,
push-ups.
bro, that's the fucking boiler room right there. You're the chick from the boiler room.
I don't want to be the chick from the boiler.
Well,
one does.
you should
now
have
you're the
knocked
chick
that
from the
over.
boiler room.
We're going to a quick intermission.
All right, but yeah, and I mean, just because he's revolutionizing a lot of things in technology and Mars, and we're gonna hold the first concert in Mars. Who do you think's going with him? Drake? Send that man to Mars.
I gotta make Mars soft somehow, right?
I think Jay-Z might get that spot first.
Shit.
No, but inside of music, man, that's a good question. That's a hard one though. That's a real good question. Damn, inside of music, fuck. Inside of music, I would have to give it to. Fuck. I would have to give it to X, R.I.P.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, R.I.P.
XXX, because he was really the first artist of that new generation that I listened to, and he was really the first one to kind of like put me on to a Juice World, put me on to a Ski Mask, and put me on to like all these like local, of course, Florida, rappers that are from like, you know, around here and somewhat Miami. So I mean, and he inspired me because it wasn't really what he said, it was just his actions. You know, he was out there. If we're going to talk about people who are motivated to really put their career and push it forward, that man was doing so much for his career. Though he did have his moments where he was pretty much at the bottom of the bottom, back at it again. So, and he was able to come back from that. So that's why I choose him for in music inspiration.
Well, if we're talking in music and out music, if we're talking in music and out music, answering those two questions, for me, out of music, I'd have to say Familia, family, the biggest inspiration, something I always look to for whenever I'm pondering anything in life. I just know that they're there and they're reliable, and you gotta stick with family people. That's all I can say. Yeah. Other than that, Other than that, when it comes to in music, that's a tricky one. But I'm thinking I'm gonna have to take it back to my main inspiration, MF Doom.
Oh, that's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that man right there is
Pop.
Yeah,
Like
just
he
the way he just works as a producer and as an artist. He doesn't discriminate. He can collab with any type of artist, and you know the thing he looks for is if they're gonna be the type of person that he can collaborate with, and that's just the only thing that matters really when it comes to making good music.
What about you, Ron?
For people, I'll do music first.
Mm-hmm.
Is Aesop Rock.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, lyrically, like he's the most. Like I forget, they did a scale between like for rappers, and he was above all of them lyrically. Like,
I mean, he took the alphabet and kind of like made it his bitch.
like he, yeah, like everything. Like he never repeated the same word, I guess, in like all of his lyrics. I have to look it up, but it was insane. Like the same word, right?
No,
Not like
that's
and
craftsmanship
or,
right
yeah,
there.
Like he.
That, you know, you have IKEA rappers, and then you have motherfucking, you know, the uppity up fucking $10,000 couches.
Like he, like Bazooka 2 Joe, I thought was amazing. None Shall Pass blew it up. That's like he came out, or I saw or heard some of his music once. What was it when Adult Swim used to do that music thing back in the day?
Bro, when they did that,
yeah, they had a whole album with him, 𝐂𝐏𝐘𝐑𝐈𝐆, and then like some other rappers, and I was just like, yo, these two are amazing.
Yeah, Nightlife when he dropped that was the man's a genius.
Yeah.
What about out of music?
Out of music, I was looking for my phone because there was a particular artist that did Kanye and Kid Cudi's album art.
Mm-hmm. He did the one with the mountains. And
no. It was like the Ghosts.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Like
Takashi Murakami.
Yes. Oh my God. Like,
shout out to Takashi Murakami, the real Takashi.
Yo, shout out to Eduardo for even saying the entire name, dude. That was like that's incredible. Like his art is just beautiful. Like it's kind of like Cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then every time I look at his art, I'm like, he started that whole entire genre where mixing like anime, contemporary, like everything else, and like just making it to this beautiful, beautiful scene. I look at him as like the art of today.
That's
right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy in Tampa that like he got like a pair of his shoes.
He made a pair of shoes.
He made shoes. It's like I think Modern Muse or something, or
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
it's like a guy that makes short. He makes like a bunch of like.
It's Muse by Pablo.
Muse
Yeah.
by Pablo. Yeah.
Pablo.
Yeah, we were gonna go see him at some like some speech. What was it?
It was the Station House.
Yeah, it was like some talk, and he was gonna talk about how he like came up. But he's pretty popular on Instagram. and he got like a pair of his shoes, and like he like wore it as a bag, and they're like fucking like one of like 100 or some limited ass number, but they're fire. They look. Actually, I saw the video of them when they were designing them, and they had Air Force Ones, like as like a model,
like the base.
like the base, and then they like just kind of like redesigned the cuts and shit. But they're pretty fire.
Honestly, I feel like, I feel like, man, when artists go outside like the medium of just, I don't know, like paintings on. Just like paintings, all this other stuff, and they go on to like shoes or things that are like super modern, super used by like consumers everywhere. I feel like it's just like a beautiful thing, because you found a way to shape your art around what people do, and I feel like he does it really well, especially with his album arts and his hamburger he made.
Hamburger.
Yeah, he made a what is it, Takashi like hamburger. With the sunflower on it and everything, and people were saying it was like the most delicious thing on earth. I was like, that's insane that he did it, but
wow,
he's a madman.
All right, and to wrap it out, I guess that's everybody, right? You. My biggest inspiration right now is Ronnie Feig, the owner of 𝐂𝐏. I think that's the biggest and best thing in the world, and it's definitely a hard tie between him and Emily Oberg. She owns Sporty and Rich. Those are definitely my favorites. I think they're just both so trendy. Emily Oberg is like talking about like health, wellness, everything like that, being sporty, you know, and then being rich. And rich could be like anything, whether it's money or just individual happiness and things like that. And then Ronnie Feig with 𝐂𝐏, man. I think 𝐂𝐏 is just the hardest streetwear out there. And it's almost just past streetwear in general. I definitely suggest everybody look him up, but those are my biggest inspirations right now. And
shout out 𝐂𝐏.
I like DJ Academics. He's funny.
It's your boy DJ Academics.
He's funny as fuck. 6ix9ine's funny as fuck. X was great. Fuck. I like the Selection. They're fucking different. Tyler the Creator's crazy. Who else? It's fucking it's a lot of shit, man. A lot of like producers and shit. Metro's crazy. He doesn't even have to do anything. Murder Beats.
Metro's in town today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, in Tampa.
Lalo, the fire in his eyes. Oh yeah.
That's my chance.
Yeah, man. There's a lot going on right now.
And I'm gonna just throw this out there, but I think as 𝐿𝐴𝐻 Essentials, I just think we're looking for something we can vibe to, something that's like enjoyable, as vague as I can put it without trying to specify.
Well, send us your music. Contact us at mix1essentials.com. Send us your music. We're also releasing music videos of yours on our platform for distribution. Email us. Visit us at mix1essentials.com. That's mix1essentials.com. Our in-house tastemaker, Lalo, will check out your music and see if he can throw it into
send
one
me
of these
beats
Essentials
too.
Send
playlists.
them the beats, and I
Send
will
beats,
communicate
send
with
videos.
you.
Yeah.
Send us the link.
Yep.
Link,
and we'll
link.
Yeah, who do we have on the show today? Just one more time so they know.
So this was me, Dylan. We got Lalo right here. Tevin a bit further down. And we got Raul, a.k.a.
Young Drop, a.k.a. Pineapple Head.
And our Ostalite himself, straight from Texas. Big boots. Ronald.
Hey, guys.
This has been Mix One Essentials. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day, night, wherever you're at. Keep it going. Keep it moving. Keep listening. Mix1essentials.com. Essentials 003 available now. 004 coming soon. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. Check that notification box. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Maybe
and
TikTok?
more.
Maybe TikTok.
TikTok.
Maybe TikTok
Where I was
coming
gonna be
soon.
dancing.
Cyclops?
Listen to the latest Essentials playlists on Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, or IGTV. Thank you. Mix One Essentials. We're out.
Good night.
Mix One Essential. 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 essential. Mix 1 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 essential. essential. Mix 1 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 essential.